appeal court uphold the decision of the lower court on the leadership of the David Mark-led ADC over the primaries and the congresses conducted by the ADC state chapters. And Governor Seyi Makinde today has received from the Nigerian military those who rescued in the abduction of Orire incident, and the governor is seeking scrutiny into the circumstances surrounding that ordeal. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimaloye for you here in Abuja, bringing you some of your latest stories tonight and getting some of the reactions, and we'll be getting them tonight. Stick around with me, everyone. There's so much to talk about. How does today's judgment against the ADC leadership, which impacts on the Senator David Mark and Rauf Aregbesola-led ADC, and how they've conducted themselves when some members of the party had gone to court to say, do not allow them to conduct the congresses, and they told INEC not to recognize the David Mark-led leadership. Today, the appeal court judgment. What does this mean? Does it affect Atiku Abubakar and Rotimi Amechi's chances of being on the ballot? And these are some of the answers that we will be seeking tonight. Plus, we'll be hearing more on the allegation on the fictitious and the fake federal agency, which involves the certain Adeyemi and the chief of staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila. The man is speaking out. He wants an independent panel. And he says he's got a lot to say and is willing to come forward if he gets that kind of panel of or independence in the probe. We're getting to hear more tonight on the program. And also, I will let you know what Governor Makinde is saying right after a few minutes away when he got or received some of those who are freed in the Orire abduction in Oyo State. But before we get into all of that tonight, everyone, let's serve you with some of your political roundup stories.
A former Minister of Science and Technology, Mr. Uche Naji, has pleaded not guilty to a 6-count charge on allegations of forging academic credentials from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and a National Youth Service Corps discharge certificate submitted during his ministerial screening in 2023, as well as money laundering charges. Mr. Naji was arraigned before Justice Joyce Abdulmalik of the Federal High Court, Abuja, by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. The judge also granted him a 20 million naira bail and one surety in like sum. Meanwhile, a coalition of civil society organizations have accused the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, of allegedly carrying out a politically motivated campaign against former Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji. Speaking in Abuja, the group described his arrest and detention as a political witch hunt, allegedly aimed at frustrating his political aspirations ahead of the 2027 governorship election in Enugu State. They therefore call for a comprehensive, transparent and impartial investigation into allegations against the former minister. Ahead of the 2027 general elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has again assured Nigerians that their votes will count. INEC National Commissioner Mr. Mohammed Haruna gives the assurance in Abuja while flagging off the FCT Mega Voter Registration Center. The electoral body also urges eligible voters who are yet to register to make good use of this registration window ahead of the 2027 general elections. The All Progressives Congress APC in Edo State says Saturday's local government election results is a historic endorsement of its leadership. Addressing journalists in a press conference in Benin City on Monday, the APC chairman, Edo State, Jarrett Tenebe, said the victory reflects growing confidence in Governor Monday Okpebolo and in President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. The party also recalls its struggles under the previous administration, saying the results prove Edo people have continued to stand with the APC since the 2024 governorship election. The National Vice Chairman Southwest of the Labour Party, Mr. Adeyemi has called on security agencies to investigate the party's 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, over comments he made following a dispute involving his vehicle at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. At a news conference in Abuja, Mr. Arabambi accused the former Anambra State governor of portraying the clamping of his vehicle over an alleged parking violation as political persecution by the federal government. He urged the Nigeria Police Force and the Department of State Services to invite Mr. Peter Obi for questioning and take appropriate legal action if any offense was established.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's take you to Oyo State, where today, officially, the military has handed over those persons that have been freed or rescued from the hands of terrorists after 57 days in captivity. They have been going through rehabilitation and medical treatment in the confines of the military territory in Oyo State. And today, officially, we saw the handing over of these persons to the Oyo State governor. After the official handover of these persons, which we understand that they will now go through necessary psychosocial help after the traumatic experience in the hands of their captors. Governor Seyi Makinde addressed the state, asking that there should be a scrutiny into the circumstances leading to the abduction, the release, and the incident, which is a major step in the history of the state. He says a lot of lessons have been learned, some of which includes how the state responds to this kind of situation. Let me allow you to listen to Governor Seyi Makinde in a state broadcast earlier today.
The reunion of these children and teachers with their families does not mark the end of this painful chapter. It marks the beginning of another responsibility, our collective responsibility to establish the truth. The circumstances surrounding this incident are sufficiently grave and unusual to warrant independent scrutiny beyond our domestic institutions. I therefore, with a full sense of responsibility as the Executive Governor of Oyo State, call on the appropriate international human rights and accountability mechanisms, including those within the United Nations system, to closely examine the facts surrounding this abduction and the circumstances of its resolution. Such scrutiny is not intended to undermine our institutions. Rather, it is intended to reinforce public confidence that the truth will be established and that every person found to bear responsibility, regardless of office, influence, or affiliation, will be held accountable.
Governor Seyi Makinde earlier today in a state broadcast. Let me quickly touch on, before we get into our primary and a major topic for tonight, which is a crisis rocking the ADC and the aftermath of today's judgment of the appeal court. There's a lot to learn from the judgment and the minority judgment, as it were, when the court took its decision, which will have some impact on the leadership of the party. But how much of an impact would this be for the chances of Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amechi at the ballot? What are the hopes of those whose names are, registered or now saved or registered in the portal of INEC? All of these will be dissecting for you tonight. But before we get into that, there seems to be some dynamics and some new emerging fact to the scandal and the controversies surrounding the alleged fake federal agencies, a phantom agency that the federal government calls it, that existed under a man called Adeyemi Matthews. Today, The controversy seems to have raised more questions, a serious one, about accountability, public finance, and the integrity of government institutions. The Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, the PFIPC, which the presidency insists was never a legitimate government agency, nevertheless appeared in the 2026 Appropriation Act with a budgetary allocation of more than 1.3 billion naira, which triggered investigations, criminal charges, and growing political debate. At the center of that controversy is Mr. Adeyemi Matthew, who is facing allegations of forgery, impersonation, and related offenses, charges he has now denied. In an open letter which he released today, written to President Bola Tinubu, Mr. Adeyemi has called for an independent, multi-stakeholder investigation. He's alleging threat to his safety and insisting he is prepared to present what he described as documentary evidence before a neutral panel. As the ICPC investigation proceeds and the matter heads before the court, let's examine some of the competing claims, the unanswered questions, as the man in question, whom the authorities say has been in hiding, again joins us and speaks up tonight on the program. Mr. Adeyemi, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shaw.
Why are you still hiding? Authorities are looking for you. Are you able to show your face and to answer to some of the charges against you?
Definitely, I'm ready, Mr. Shaw. I'm ready. I'm not hiding. I'm only fear for my life, because I have it in good authority that my life is in danger, and there are several attempts to my life out there.
What gives you? What are the evidence to the attempt on your life? What are the evidence you have that gives you the feeling that your life is not safe?
I have intent. I have intelligence reports too.
Intelligence report? Into what extent? That someone is planning to kill you or what? Has anything happened before now that has given you that inclination?
Oh, Mr. Chief, several attempts in my life. Honestly, I requested Mr. President to set up an independent panel the last time I came out to do the rejoinder, that Mr. President should please set up an independent panel to look into assassination attempts to my life and to look deeply into the material death of Mr. Tanimola. Mr. Chief, nobody is talking about the late Tanimola again. Nobody is talking about the mysterious death of Mr. Tanimola. As I'm talking to you tonight, the hotel, the authority claimed the man got inferno and died, has been demolished tonight. I can tell you in good faith. They are just trying to clean up the evidences. So just imagine. Okay.
What's your relationship with Mr. Tanimola, and how is it linked to all of this?
Okay, Mr. Tanimola is an intermediary between myself and the Chief of Staff, Honorable Adeyemi.
Was it the one you gave money to, that you allege gave money to Mr. Adeyemi?
Yes, sir.
How much did you give him at the material time?
400 million naira instrumentally.
And you were supposed to balance him 200 million. Are you sure that he delivered that money?
I'm sure he delivered the money.
What receipt do you have to show that he delivered the money?
I didn't have any receipt, but I was there to communicate. I have the number of Chief of Staff, and he called the same number. So that gave me the evidence that he delivered the money.
But, okay, so you gave him the money before you got the appointment. Is that right?
No, they gave me the appointment first.
And you gave now paid the first installment?
Yes.
Okay, give us... Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. The agreement was, okay, they will give me... I told them that there's no how I will get money without an appointment. That if I get a letter of appointment, then we can proceed to payment. So when they gave me the letter, they said, until I know that Chief of Staff doesn't issue the appointment. is SGF. But the agreement was, once I balance off, they will convey the approval of the appointment to SGF to give me the appointment by the SGF. So that was the agreement between us.
And Mr. Tanimona brokered this, isn't it?
Yes, he did.
And he was he the one who handed you the letter, or who gave you the letter?
Yes, he was the one that handed over the letters to me.
To you. But
Yes,
and you had exchange or communication with the office of the SGF thereafter?
Yes. Anything I need, once I tell them, because initially I was trying to reach out to Chief, but the late Animola would tell me that Chief told him that I'm trying to reach out to him, that he don't have anything to do with me until I fulfill all righteousness. So anything I need pertaining to the office, once I say, oh, we want to do X, Y, Z, you say, okay, you will reach out to Chief. Then, lo and behold, you just say, write a letter to X, Y, Z, and I will do. Truly, everything will be perfect. They will grant me the request. So that's how we have been running till we get to this stage.
But in all of this, because there are a lot of, it does look like the manner in which you got this appointment was not a regular one. And
Yes.
were you not suspicious that this could be a phantom appointment? Are you not worried that this is not going in the right channel?
Yes, initially I was skeptical, but I was convinced when I was getting the paraphernalia of the office. For instance, I was given office at the Federal Secretariat.
Who gave you?
From the office of the SGF. Let me tell you, Mr. Shew. Office of the SGF, I wrote to the late Animola told me that Chief said I should write to the SGF, which I did. And lo and behold, it was honored. SGF wrote a letter to EFCC to give 3 agencies, my agency, Honorable Minister of Steel, and the disability, I forgot the name, the disability agency. The 3 of us, they wrote the letter to EFCC to give us accommodation, office accommodation from the forfeiture properties, which EFCC took it up upon themselves. I was invited, took me around Abuja to select the one befitting of my office, which I chose one. And they asked me, they wrote a letter. I have all these evidences. They wrote letter to my agency, to me personally, that I should pay 300 million naira grant rent to the recovery account in CBN. I was like, I reached out to my late Tanimona that, how would I get 300 million naira that PFIPC asked me to pay into CBN recovery account? And he said, don't worry. Once your money, the take-off grant comes in, you will do that. However, they will talk to the chief, and chief will talk to the SGF to give me an office accommodation, pending the time that they will release the take-off grant of 27.3 billion naira to the agency. Then I will be able to pay conveniently the 300 billion naira requested by the EFCC.
So you finished NYC in year 2015, isn't
it? Yes.
I'm wondering how you got the kind of money you worked with in 2015, the kind of resources that you had, and I'm also bothered about the allegations against you when you claim that you got an appointment from the United Nations. Doesn't this raise suspicion about your own personality?
Mr. Shew, I borrowed this money. In fact, those that I borrowed this 400 million naira from, as reported to EFCC, I borrowed this money to pay for this appointment. In fact, those I can tell you, they will also written to EFCC asking me to refund their money. So I'm not even yet to pay the money back. I borrowed this money.
What about the allegations about you that you were saying that, and it was all over social media, that you announced yourself as getting an appointment from the United Nations?
It's not sponsored. It's the campaign of calumny. They should let us face the facts and documents. Mr. Sheu, is unfortunate. This scenario is very, very unfortunate. That the way some actors in the government are taking up this matter is unfortunate and is embarrassing. Honestly, imagine the government claiming that a one man called me a corner maneuver the whole system. About now, it's unfortunate.
You are asking, and I'm seeing now that there's a U.S. lobbying firm helping you to seek asylum. Is that right?
I read it the way you read it, because some people forwarded it to me that anybody that knows Prince Adeyemi, they are looking for me, blah blah blah. I just ignore, because I'm not. They sponsored a lot of people to bring my social media handles down, so I don't really know much what is going on again. It was only I just hear from family and friends. They said this, they said that, because they put my social media handle down, and they still reported that I was about to run away out of Nigeria. I'm still in Nigeria. I'm not going anywhere.
Where are you in Nigeria at the moment?
You want me to tell you, Mr. Sheu? You want them to kill me?
Oh, are you really serious about this threat to your life?
I mean it, Mr. Sheu. I mean it.
You're asking the president to set up an independent panel.
Exactly. In fact, in the first instance, I want to appreciate our father, the president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his first step by asking ICPC to take up the matter. Fantastic. I appreciate him. It means he's a listening father. However, I'm still further appealing to him to please set up an independent panel. You can see that presidency has already exonerated His Excellency Honorable Olufemi Gbadagbamila in this matter, saying the chief of staff does not know anything. It's okay. But let an independent panel prove that.
All right, give me a moment. Mr. Adeyemi, stay with me. Just give me a moment. I'll go on a break. We're going to break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the program. Join us again, everyone. Everyone for staying with us. We're speaking earlier with Mr. Adeyemi Matthews, the man at the center of the allegations and the scandal about the fictitious federal agency. Before I allow you go, Mr. Adeyemi, you are asking this from the presidency. There are those who say, why are you behaving like this? Come forward and answer to the charges against you. Are you aware that you are going to be in court on the 13th? You have a case to answer in court.
Today is 13th. So probably you mean tomorrow 14th.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. That's why I mentioned, and I didn't say today, tomorrow. I said on the 13th. You are supposed to be in court today. Because the U.S., you had said that you were sick, you were not feeling fine. That's why the court gave you more time. But now you are supposed to be arraigned today. Was that not the case?
It was only once. It was only once that I was sick, because I appeared in the court 4 times. Since November 27 to June 16. So I'll be appearing in the court. It was only one I was absent. So it was the court that adjourned the 3 times.
Before I allow you go, is it fair to have made all these allegations for a man you have never met, you have never spoken to, you are not sure even if it's the number that you have of him is the correct one, and you're making these heavy allegations again? Is it fair? What if you have been dealing with a fake Gbadagbamila?
Thank you, Mr. Sheu. That's why I'm pleading to our father, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to unravel the truth through the independent panel. You understand? So I appreciated him for taking the first step by asking the ICPC. But sorry to say, government cannot investigate itself. His Excellency has already been exonerated by the presidency, and there are counter evidences against each other. Let Mr. President please set up an independent panel which consists international organizations, civil society across the globe.
Are you willing to come forward? You say you have evidence.
Yes, if Mr. President can please in his power to do that for us, I will come out. All people, everybody that want to come to show evidences, Mr. President should provide security for all of us.
The ICPC has ICPC reached out to you?
Well, I will confirm that from my lawyer.
Do you think that you have now become a fugitive, running away from the law?
No, I'm not. That's why, Mr. Shehu, I'm appealing to Mr. President. So if the investigative panel will do all this and will unravel the truth, that's just it.
All right.
Are you telling me, Mr. Shehu, as far I'm not condemning any agencies of the government, but in a normal circumstance, are you telling me ICPC will indict chief of staff if at all anything? No, but let an independent prove him innocent. That okay, Adeyemi is lying, he's just making official allegation against the chief of staff. Let the independent panel consist of international organizations and civil society organizations. Let them unravel the truth. Whether I'm lying is okay, then I'm ready to face the wrath of the law. Let me get a fair hearing. That's what all I'm pleading for. Even
so you are saying you are not a con. You are not a con.
I'm not
con artist. You're not.
I'm not today, but until the independent investigative panel unravel the truth and say whether I'm wrong or I'm right.
All right. Thank you so much, Adeyemi, the man at the center.
Mr. Shehu,
yeah.
I want to reiterate again. My life is in danger, and I mean what I'm saying. Imagine last week Monday, unknown gunmen, whether they are DSS, whether EFCC, whether police, went to my parents. Within 3 days, they went there 2 times. When the room claiming they are looking for one Adebayo and I'm Adeyemi. In the midnight, they are just, imagine my age parents, they are in hospital now as I'm talking to you because of the tension. If truly why can't they invite me? If truly they want me to get a fair hearing. So they are just trying to coerce me. Let an independent panel do the justice to all this.
All right, Mr. Adeyemi.
Wait, let them please stop embarrassing Mr. President and Nigerians at large with all this issue. Imagine, even presidency, Akata General said there's no account with them. Just imagine. By the time we presented the document that showed that they gave us this account through the CBN, then what would they be telling Nigerians?
Mr. Adeyemi.
The Deputy Speaker claimed that I wrote to him. What if I challenge him to publicize the letter I sent to him for invite? It's just embarrassing. This whole thing is embarrassing, and they are embarrassing Mr. President and Nigerians as a whole. They should stop this. Let Mr. President please constitute an independent panel to unravel the truth. Thank you. And Nigeria should focus on facts and documents, not what they are sponsoring. Campaign of Kano me. They want to silence me by fire, by force, and I will not be silent. Let Mr. President set up an independent panel and let the truth be known to the world. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much. Adeyemi, the man at the center of the PFIPC controversy. Thank you so much indeed for talking to us tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
Appreciate
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Let's now move to the ADC leadership legal tussle, where the Court of Appeal today has barred INEC from recognizing the David Mark-led ADC congresses. In a split decision of 2-1, the Court of Appeal here in Abuja today affirmed the judgment restraining the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, from recognizing or participating in any state congresses organized by committees appointed by the David Mark-led caretaker leadership of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. In that lead verdict delivered by Justice Okon Abang. The three-member panel of justices said it found no reason to set aside a restraining order by the Federal High Court Abuja, which issued against the David Mark ADC leadership on 29th of April. Let's speak to this matter and what this means altogether. Interestingly, I have two lawyers representing the party, Mr. Ridwan Akpanachi, on virtually with us, and Barrister Kalu, who is also a counsel to the ADC. Thanks so much. He's live for us here in our Abuja studio. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Shehu, for having me today.
This is a loss to the David Mark leadership, isn't it?
Not at all. Not at all, Shehu. There is nowhere in the judgment of Justice Joyce Abdulmalik,
the trial court,
at the trial court, that touched on the leadership of David Mark. The matter bordered solely on the congresses conducted by David Mark at the state level, not on the leadership of David Mark. So when people say the court bars or directed INEC to derecognize David Mark led executive, there is no such pronouncement by the trial court and the Court of Appeal today. There is none. So it has nothing to do with the leadership of David Mark. It's only bordered on the congresses conducted by David Mark at the state level.
So tell us, the party at the leadership of the party, which is David Mark, at the national level, has the right to superintend over the congresses at the state. Is that right?
Sure.
They set a panel to go and conduct those congresses. Sure. But the grievances of those who went to court, who took this matter to court, is that INEC should not recognize or INEC should not monitor, as though they think that the congresses as it was conducted at the time was illegal and there was a breach.
No, that was
the contention.
That was their contention at the trial court, which was affirmed by Honorable Justice Joyce Abdulmalik, which was erroneously made, because Joyce Abdulmalik wrongly interpreted the provisions of the constitutions of ADC and gave exclusive powers to state ESCO or the state SWC as the organ of the party that has the powers to conduct state congresses. Beshew, you are a journalist. You can read and you can write. Please, after today's program, look for the constitution of ADC and see whether there is any provision in the constitution of ADC that empowers the state working committee or the state ESCO the powers to conduct state congresses, so that you can come back to this station and then enlighten Nigerians on the express provisions of the constitution of ADC.
So you are faulting the decision of Justice Joyce, and the appellate court has upheld the decision of Justice Joyce Abdulmalik, and you said that on those two instances the courts were wrong.
So I said on this program that there is no provision in the constitution of ADC that empowers the state working committee or the state executive committee the powers to conduct state congresses. There is no provision at all. At best, what the constitution of the ADC provides, the powers given to the state working committee or the state ESCO, is the power to prepare agenda. I don't know, you just listen, to prepare agenda for state congresses. There is no such provision that empowers the state working committee or the state ESCO of the party to conduct state congresses. Let me ask you, because you are well versed in the activities of INEC. If a court says it is the powers of the state congress or of the state working committee or the state ESCO of a party to conduct state congresses. So who communicates to INEC? Is it the state chairman or the national chairman and national secretary of the party?
All right. Give me a moment. Give me a moment, sir. Let me bring Mr. Opanachi here. Mr. Opanachi, give us an understanding. By the verdict of the trial court and the appellate court, it then meant that every congresses that were conducted by the David Mark-led leadership is now null and void. Is that right?
That is not true, Sheung. I think the matter was instituted even before the congresses were held. And the pronouncement of Honorable Justice Joyce Abmalik was that the power to conduct state congresses belongs to the state executive committee of the party, and that INEC should not attend any state congress organized by the party without or not through the state executive. And we appealed against that judgment to the Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal, in its own wisdom today, affirmed that judgment. And to us as a lawyer, we believe that that judgment is against the law, is against the constitution of ADC, and it's against the established principle as regards courts not in the position to interfere with internal affairs of a political party. So we are going to discuss the judgment with our clients and seek, for their, instruction as to whether to proceed to the Court of Appeal or abide by the judgment. That is the beauty of our judiciary, our judicial system. We still have another opportunity to go to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has maintained this position over 5 decades now, that no court in Nigeria has any right, has any power to interfere with internal affairs of the political party. And this matter borders purely on the governance of the ADC, particularly at the state level. And it must be made clear that when you are talking about a political party is one. The state, the local government, zonal bodies that you have is just administrative convenience. The life of a political party rests in the National Working Committee, rests in the National Executive Council meeting, rests in the National Convention. So it is the national body that controls the party. And when you look at the Article 19 of ADC Constitution, it vested in the National Working Committee and National NEC in particular, NEC meeting in particular, to dissolve any organ of the party, be it the National Working Committee, be it the State Executive Committee or anything. And when you talk about State Congress, the State Congress is more than the State Executive Committee. The State Executive Committee is just an arm, a micro arm of the State Congress. The State Congress is beyond just the State Executive Committee.
Mr. Opanachi, just for a moment. One of the fundamental questions that a lot of the supporters of the ADC are worried about is how this impacts on the running and the chances on the running of the party and the chances of the party or whether or not the party is going to be Atiku Abubakar or Rotimi Amaechi is going to be on the ballot. But we saw Mr. Bolaji, just a moment, Mr. Bolaji, just a moment, Mr. Bolaji Abdullah in a statement earlier today, just after the judgment had come out to say that the party has already commenced the process of appealing the judgment, which, according to him, we respectfully disagree with and consider to be legally unsustainable. He went further to say, quote, "We also note the dissenting judgment of the presiding justice, which in our view more accurately reflects the settled position of the law and the party's position. We have also seen from the media office of Mr. Atiku Abubakar, where he's trying to douse the tension. And Mr. Atiku Abubakar's office had said, we remain respectful of the judiciary through the statement written by Mr. Frank Shaibu, the Senior Special Assistant on Public Communication to Atiku Abubakar. He says, quote, "We remain respectful of the judiciary and have already instructed our legal team to approach the Supreme Court for a definitive determination of the issues arising from the judgment. That is the proper constitutional path, and we have absolute confidence in the judiciary, process. Let no supporter of the ADC lose sleep. Let no Nigerian who believes in the restoration of our country be discouraged the struggle to rescue Nigeria has never been about one courtroom or one judgment. It is a movement born out of the collective desire of millions of Nigerians for competent leadership, economic recovery, national unity, and the restoration of hope, end of quote. So fundamentally, there are those who are afraid that this has a consequential effect on the chances of the party at the poll and the running of the affairs of the party as led by Senator David Mark.
Are not informed, but those who are informed are not disturbed.
Let me allow you to.
And I don't think there's any tension with the leadership of the party under the distinguished Senator David Mark, and it has nothing to do with the primaries conducted by ADC. It solely has to do with the state's Congress. And the primaries conducted by ADC is direct primaries. It wasn't indirect primaries that the state Congress would be involved. It wasn't by consensus across the board. The ADC conducted direct primaries. And the power to conduct primaries, whether direct, indirect, or consensus, belongs to the National Working Committee. And this case has nothing to do with the leadership of the National Working Committee. It has nothing to do with the leadership of ADC at the national level. So there's nothing to panic about. There's no tension at all. I think you should not even read it meaning into it that this statement is meant to douse tension. It is meant to clarify issues and make those who are not informed to be informed. So there's nothing to be afraid here. We are going to the Supreme Court, and by the grace of God, the Supreme Court, who has given a consistent judgment as regards the fact that a court cannot interfere with the internal affairs of a party, will have an opportunity to restate its position that has been, maintained over 5 decades ago. So there's no doubt, no tension at all. ADC is on the right course. Our candidates are not affected. A presidential candidate is not affected. All the candidates are not affected. ADC is going on with the election.
Let me, Mr. Kalu, there are those who say part of the consequences of some of these legal issues that this is just one out of several, the plethora of legal battle that the party is facing. This is just one. Are you worried about this plethora of cases and how it impacts on the chances of the ADC?
Apart from today's judgment, the other matter we have is the Nafi Bala Gombe matter, which is before Justice Lifo. But Shehu, just last week, Justice Liman Suleiman delivered a judgment and held that David Mark and other members of NWC were duly elected on the 29th day of July 2025, which was monitored by INEC. INEC filed processes in support of ADC's position that David Mark and others were duly elected. So, having gotten that judgment in favor of ADC, what else do we need? There is a clear pronouncement today by the Federal High Court that David Mark and others were duly elected. And that judgment is still subsisting. That judgment has not been set aside.
But you said earlier that there is nothing about this judgment that has any that mention whether or not the David Mark. But you are just saying now that he says the judgment states that.
I'm talking about a judgment delivered by Justice Liman.
Not in the court of the one led by
Malik was purely on the issue of the state congresses.
You lost one matter, you won another.
No, it's not losing.
This matter. One at the appeal court is you did not win this one. No. This one was against the party.
Hold on. One thing about political parties is the national leadership of the party is intact. If today the party decides to dissolve all states' structure of the party and constitute an interim leadership of the party, they are still within the realm of law and the provisions of the constitution of the party. So at the moment, the party is still moving on course. The news going on social media that the primaries conducted by ADC is affected. How is it affected? One, the national leadership of the party conducted the primary election. And by the current provisions of the Electoral Act 2026, it is either by direct primary or by consensus. And ADC adopted a direct primary.
Right.
And what is direct primary? A process where all the members
of the party
at the ward level will come and vote.
Mr. Kalu.
And there is no in the process leading to the primary, the presidential primary, and other primaries.
Mr. Kalu.
No state ESCO participated.
Mr. Kalu, we need to go now. Mr. Rudwan, just in 20 seconds, you are saying that ADC members should stay calm. But given all of these legal issues, why should they? Just in 30 seconds.
And they should because there is just like my colleague said, there is a subsisting judgment of the Federal High Court that has already settled the issue of national leadership of ADC. And the primaries that was conducted by the national leadership of ADC. And the judgment today has nothing to do with the national leadership of ADC. It has to do with the power to conduct state congresses.
All right.
That is also they shouldn't panic. Right. All these cases are meant to distract ADC. But ADC leadership is not distracted. And we congratulate and salute the national chairman of ADC for being firm and consistent.
Thank you, sir. We need to go. We're totally out of time. No. We are totally out of time.
2 seconds.
Totally out of time.
2 seconds. 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds.
Go ahead. There is no time, sir.
So, the judiciary should allow political parties to participate in 2027 general election. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's our show for tonight, everyone. And thanks for watching. I'm Sean Akimale. God bless Nigeria.